So what do you think are like the non-negotiables that employee experience leaders need to focus on right now?
So I think from a starting off, and I mean, I ended off talking about feedback. I think listening comes with action, right? So if someone is going to share feedback and our employees are sharing feedback on either shifts or well dones that organizations or well done boxes that organizations are ticking, I think it's also important that you act on the feedback. And for me, acting on feedback doesn't always mean doing what you've been asked if it's not the right thing. I think it's closing the loop, keeping the communication open, and where where we want to see shifts and move levers. I think it's important that organizations take that seriously and set aside the resources required to make that shift. And I think that way employees feel heard, they feel engaged, they feel included, and so the cycle continues. And I want to stay with you more. So I think listening and acting and having an action orientation is important. I think I started off talking about purpose. I think it's important that organizations drive the connection for employees. So help employees articulate their personal purpose as linked to the organizational purpose, and providing the platform and the tools for people to be able to see that, because for some people it doesn't come naturally. I know I like to work for this company because this is how it makes me feel. I know this is what they stand for. And I think it's important that you bring those lines together for people. So that I think those are the things that make people stay with organizations. And this is one of the things that organizations can amplify for themselves, and for their employees to build that deeper connection. I think a third, probably non-negotiable for me, is the biases that may exist. So organizations starting to tackle unconscious bias, and line managers understanding their roles as well. And I think that for me is a non-negotiable. Nobody wants to come into an environment where they can't wholly be themselves. And I think organizations who don't start to talk about unconscious biases and start to poke that bear will be at a loss, because I think something so small that could easily be fixed, or that could be a journey for an organization, but it starts with recognition. So I think working and doing some work around the unconscious bias space, working with leaders in the organization, employees and peers, right, in the organization across the board around biases and how we work through some of those and how we leave other people feeling. I think for me, another non-negotiable, and maybe to talk to just one more or two more, is around intentional communication. I think organizations do many great things, and depending on where you sit, you see some of these things. And I do think organizations do need to get better at communicating intentionally and being deliberate. So in my employee journey, my moments of truth, I'm clear on what I'm meant to experience, what I'm experiencing. I have an opportunity to feedback, to contribute, to participate, to build, and to continuously improve whatever that part of that journey is. So I think communication being intentional. And I think lastly is just the realization that employee experience and customer experience for me should be treated with the same level of prioritization and importance. The way we feel about our customers and the energy that we have for our customers. When you lose customers, you'll see businesses and leaders, kind of their tone changes, and what needs to get done, and the operational intensity becomes a bit higher. And the same, I think, should apply for our employees. And it's important to see the congruence and the relationship between the two.